Sports Challenge 2020. 3-on-1 is an excellent image. I find the triangular composition works extremely well, and the positioning of the players around the central character is excellent. I love the way you can see all their faces and you can see the effort that they're putting into this game. One minor criticism would be that I'd like to see a bit more of the field with some more players, perhaps a referee, giving us a sense that it's really a rugby match. 72 at quarter corner gives a good feeling of the speed the motorbike's going at. The panning is excellent and the shutter speed is such that the wheels are nicely blurred while the bodywork is sharp. That said, I feel the post-processing has maybe let you down. The motorbike really needs to have some space to move into to be a classic sports image. Here it's very tightly cropped, and indeed the colour popping of extremely bright red colours means that one's focus is entirely on the centre of the motorbike and not with a greater image. I feel a little bit more space and a little less on the saturation would give you a better image. Goat polo first goal certainly shows that across the world there are many different sports. In this particular case, we've got an excellent composition. The triangle created by the spectators and the two riders is excellent. You get a good feeling of the speed that the horses are moving at, and you can see that the goat has been deposited in the ring of stones in the instant the photograph was taken. So excellent. The inclusion of the spectators really creates the feeling that actually we are at an event that other people are watching. Going around the bend is for me a nearly image, I'm afraid. Looking at the rider, I can see that his face, which really ought to be sharp, is just slightly soft, and the focus seems to be on the writing on the side of his shirt. Added to that, I think you've just cut the front wheel off, which is a real shame. I think if you gave this guy a little bit more space, you'd have got a more satisfying image. My feeling is that you should keep trying to do your panning. I know from bitter experience that one takes 100 photographs and finds only about 3 that work. So it's frustrating, but it is worth the perseverance. Breaking through is by far the best of the rugby images that I've had to comment on. This rugby match certainly produced quite a few pictures, but I really like this one because the main character breaking through, the effort on his face, and particularly the effort on the two would-be tacklers behind him is great. It's been well captured. What I really like about this is the background with the other players and indeed the grandstand in view, and that really gives us a sense that this is a full-on rugby match. An excellent image. Monochrome is a really good choice here because it enables us to see the emotion on the faces of the 3 main protagonists, not distracted by the colour of the surroundings. I Can Do It really has the factor to it. The grab shot of a lovely little child trying to do her best to throw a ball into a hoop. That said, sadly the face is just a bit soft, and though the child's parents will be delighted with this, I'm afraid it doesn't quite work as a sports image. That said, it's a lesson to us all that if we've got a phone or a similar device and you see something that really grabs your attention, take the photograph. It's a great idea, and it certainly captures the moment extremely well. Line Out does what it says on the tin. It's a good view of a rugby match in progress. I like the composition with the ball in mid-air above the jumpers and the supporting players giving a good lift. That said, I think the processing's been overdone. There may be some sort of HDR in here, but the result is a very unreal feel to it, complete with a lot of distortion and breaking up of the image in the sky. A little bit less processing would give us a much better image. Oh to Be in England is a super image. It goes to show that sports images don't have to concentrate on the centre of the action to be effective. This really tells a story to us all of the village green cricket, with people lazing on the grass while the players take part in the game. That said, the bowler is in the right position, the ball is in the air, and the batsman is getting ready to hit it. I think this is a really excellent shot, and should do well in competition. Eyes on the ball. We're getting familiar with this rugby match. It's generated a lot of images, and this is a really good one as well. Again, mono's been used, and I think that works well. I love the way you've got the expression in both players' faces, and of course the cheeky title adds to it. That said, again, we've got a very tight crop, so we're not sure there's anybody else on the field. That said, there are some blurred patches in the background which I really don't quite understand, given that there are other bits of grass round about which are sharp. So perhaps revisit your processing. I'm not sure as well this works on its own. It might work better as part of a group or panel. Racing across the line is a good impressionistic view of cycling. The idea of freezing the background and letting the cyclists be out of focus is a really good one. It gives a sense of the movement that we feel when we see the track. That said, I would have preferred to see the finish line in front of the riders, or perhaps between the first and second, to give a slightly more dynamic view of the event. The background as well is a difficult one, because as I know, the stadium was pretty empty, so we didn't get a feeling of crowd engagement. So perhaps cropping that down to a letterbox and removing the young child on the far right would be a good idea. Round the bend at Maryport certainly has a lot going for it. I do like the feeling of movement and the action, where you've got a blurred background, blurred spokes, and a bit of dust being kicked up by the left foot of this young rider. However, processing has given us some issues. It looks to me that it's a big crop, and as a result the edges of the bike are beginning to break up and pixelate. I also feel, yet again, your use of colour is overdone and much too saturated. It could be toned back a little bit. There are programs out there that would help you with the scaling up of images, and perhaps you do the scaling up before you do the cropping, and would give you a better edge effect. I'm not sure whether jet skiing constitutes a sport or a pastime, but nevertheless this is a dramatic image. You've got the point of take-up extremely well. However, I do find the processing leaves something to be desired. It's been over-sharpened significantly so that if you look at it on full-size screen, there's a halo all the way around the jet ski and any other high-contrast interface. So I think toning that back a bit would help create a better image. Our final shot from that memorable rugby match, try, is a really clever image. I do wonder, however, if a better title might be Try, No Try, because the decisive moment was probably a tenth of a second before this frame was taken, so we can't see the downward pressure on the ball. Processing, also I wonder about a little bit. You've put a vignette on to try and concentrate the viewers on the action in the middle of the image, but I wonder if that's been overdone, so that we're getting rather artificial darkening of the white hoarding and the left-hand corner of the image. This is a really good action image with both players showing the effort that they're putting in, and I really love the way you've caught the legs dangling in midair as they slide across the turf.